Hey everybody, I'm here, Latoya Deshawn. I made it even after surgery. Go ahead and get in here. We're talking about behind every face is a story. You want to get in here. Yes. Hi there. Hi everybody. I just want to update you guys. I hope that you are doing well on this Wednesday. I know that I had surgery last week, but I wanted to keep it going with my Vision Has Value series every week. That if I'm able to get up here and talk and to just enlighten you guys a little bit more about the entertainment industry and all of that stuff, then I want to do it. So I'm coming in here the last few weeks. I talked about like facts about the entertainment industry. I talked about how to not be scammed in entertainment. We're also going to talk about certain topics like alleviating procrastination and time management and really how do you focus creatively on your talent. I know that that's some of the issues that creators face in the industry because they're usually overwhelmed either by working a lot for people and not enough pay or not really doing enough valuable work and really spreading themselves too thin. So that is the bulk of what I talk about every time I get on here. Every week, Vision Has Values. But I do want to update you guys. I did have surgery, had lipoma surgery, which is basically a non-cancerous tumor. It was on my back. I have like the bandage on my back right now. And I'm about, I want to say 5 days out. So I'm really at home recovering, but I am still able, and I'm grateful for that. And as far as the surgery, it went really, really well. The doctors were amazing. A lot of them were Black people, from the doctors to the nurses. So it was really great, but really everyone was awesome. And so I've really just been in the bed every day, taking it easy, because number one, I know that whatever is for me is just not going to miss me. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. But it's just really an opportunity to like get back to me, get back to like the things that have been on my mind that I can actually take time out for, as opposed to having those thoughts on my mind, but maybe not focusing in on them as much because I have deadlines that uh, I want to conquer. Just want to let you guys know that when I was put to sleep with my surgery, they put a tube down my throat. So I'm still like feeling the effects of that. And that was really the only pain that I had. Haven't taken any medicine or anything like that. I've had friends who've also been here to help me out every day. So I'm just really incredibly grateful for this surgery turnaround. And that's just a little bit of what I'm going to talk about in Behind Every Face is a Story. But just want to let you guys know that Latoya Deshawn, personal makeup artist to high profile talent, and transformational leader and strategist for the entertainment industry. So I'm your girl if you want to know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what is the impact on the entertainment industry. As you guys know, I have a leadership academy. Right now, I'm calling it Leadership Academy. Right now, it could be called Creatives Need Leadership, Everything on Purpose, whatever. The name is not as important right now as more important what you learn when you go through the academy. And we all know that artists are real sensitive about they shit, and this really helps you to, instead of being sensitive about it, really outperform your current expectations. Because I know us being sensitive sometimes leads to procrastination, leads to us not getting jobs that are worthy, and leads us to not working with people who value what we do. So at best, we know we're sensitive and help to alleviate that through going through a lot of personal and professional mentorship strategies. A lot of it is letting go of your ego, pretty much. So it's really like a lot of ego work, a lot of mindset work, because we know entertainers are dealing with a lot of things. We went over this last week, some facts about the entertainment industry, that a lot of people who are in this industry are suffering from premature death. They're suffering from alcohol and drug related deaths. There's a huge emphasis on mental illness, as well as existential acknowledgement. So the we love to get the acknowledgement out there. What else is it? Oh, and adverse childhood trauma. So for me myself, I'm in the categories of the mental illness because of CPTSD, and as well as adverse childhood trauma. I would more specifically say family estrangement. But we've seen, if we just go through every last one of those categories, there's a celebrity that we can call out right now who has suffered. So when we talk about premature death, and alcohol and drug related deaths. I mean, just last month and a half ago, we saw quite a few artists get taken out by cocaine or heroin overdoses that included fentanyl. So we know that these people were young, and we know that the national average age for a male is 79 years old, no, 76. And people in the entertainment are dying at around 49 years old. So it's just a fact that when we look at premature death and alcohol drug related deaths, that we can attach celebrities to it. When we look at mental illness, we talk a lot about, back in the day, it was like Picasso's and all the people who were regarded after they died. But really, you look at people like Kanye West, that's a very big example, but like Demi Lovato. And there are other artists out here who are suffering from mental illness, and there's varying different levels of it. But more of the story is that I'm here to help with the professional and the personal mentorship strategies as you navigate through this entertainment industry, whether you are talent, whether you're working for a Fortune 500 company, whether you are an executive, whether you are a sports figure, whatever. Okay, whether I'm working with you personally or your company, I am here to help in the transformation of you and whatever you doing. Okay, so that's just that, and that's what we do in Leadership Academy. So helping you to also become a better leader in the process. Now, behind every face is a story is the first pillar of my company. If you attach that to the first guiding principle, which is you must decide, it's all about being honest about the life that you're living, being accountable for how you walk on this earth, getting out of your own way. I call it getting out of the shame closet, but really just reflecting on your life and telling your story. So for me, I had this surgery, and, it was a really good excuse to not really show up today and say, hey, I have this surgery, let me go ahead and rest. But the reality is, if I want to tell the truth, that this is the best position for me to be in right now, because I'm not actually leaning on my back. And so I am quite comfortable right now. And so, rather than whatever someone else thinks I should be doing, I really just assess what can I be doing and how does this add to me wanting to continue to help creatives in entertainment, right? Because I'm here for y'all. I've been through it. I've been through the journey. If I do it again, I'm just doing it again. So I'm here to just help you along the way as you navigate it, because even though I named all those effects of the high achievers, the entertainers of the world, so many people want to do it every day, and they need to be better equipped. And so one of those things is, once I got serious about the life that I wanted to live, one of the first things I did was break out a journal and get real and just start to ask myself, what do I enjoy? And that's really how I walk people through when they first start off with me in the client stage, that a lot of times that they want a lot of things are showing up, a lot of conversation, but really they just need to be more reflective. Put it in a story, because I guarantee what it is you want to do with yourself, your business, your life, is somewhere centered around the life that you've lived, right? So that's the first journey. And I just want to kind of read a little bit of me and what I would say to you guys as you get to know a little bit more about me. Because again, behind every face is a story, and it does lend itself to why I'm so passionate about teaching in this area. Let me see, where is it? Because, okay, let me see if I have this. Yeah. I call it, you're not sensitive, you're traumatized. So people in the entertainment industry. I am Latoya Deshawn. I currently live in Los Angeles. I'm an entrepreneur for over 15 years who suffer from anxiety, burnout, and childhood dysfunction, all while being a high performer, achievement-focused, and service-oriented, only to realize that these were symptoms of early childhood trauma. I'm a transformational leader and strategist for the entertainment industry, teaching survivors how to slow down and reclaim their bodies and self-identity back from complex early childhood conditioning, right? That's a really great way to just say, like, whatever the stuff that you went through in your life, like, I'm here to say I see you, and let's try another way. Like, let's try another way that is not a part of you acting out, acting in, but really, really, really getting to the root of who you are, how you want to move, how you want to serve. So, being raised in a family where I didn't belong, I have a unique perspective on how mental and emotional health yields some of the highest achieving people in the world. After the sudden collapse of both my health and family systems, I felt forced into shifting from outward achievement to inward healing of historical trauma patterns, replaying themselves in seemingly unrelated aspects of my life. What we learn is that what we do in one area of our life is what we do in all. So when I really, really sat down and got honest about myself, I realized it had been showing up in other areas, and the way in which I was dealing with my stuff was also the same. So I also urge creatives that they look at how they're running their business, look and see how this has also been accepted in their life, and what do they want to do to get out of that, to be better than that. My thing is, how can we be better than we were the day before? So it says, having a trauma-informed perspective on myself and my life has transformed me physically, mentally, and emotionally. I've released weight off myself. I've gained celebrity clients. I've gotten able to start my new business. I've been able to, rest more, give more time to myself, focus creatively on my talents, all those things. I've come to learn how I feel, how to identify my needs, to validate their importance, and to include myself in a circle of compassion and care. I often say, you're serving everyone, yet being served the least, not anymore. And so this is really getting back to you in a way where you never been there before. So dare I say that this is also in practicing transformational leadership and getting to be the leader you want to be, is asking you to get back to you and love on you so that you best know how you want to love on others in your work and in your life. So I'm more emotionally available to the possibilities of the future. Rather than simply surviving the present, I brighten people's day with my presence and passionate outlook on self-love for mental, physical, and emotional health. I stand for creatives and entertainment to give voice to what is often so hard to name as abusive, right? You don't have to use those toxic behaviors anymore. We don't have to be drinking and drugging. We don't have to be a victim of our circumstances. We don't have to die early. We don't have to do any of those things. Like, I see you as a creative. I know that it's not that you're sensitive, you're traumatized. And I know that the impact in that is you showing up and showing out in your creativity. I also know that the validation you get from it is the only thing you can hope for, because where else have you been getting that validation? I was 36 years old when I discovered myself in CPTSD, PPMD, and family estrangement. I felt a relief to know that I'm not alone in the way my brain works. That part of my healing is to name out loud that my childhood was not aware, that I was not aware, it was not aware or compassionate. It was rooted in abuse, no matter how much good you want to glean from it. It's just about telling the story. I find that there's not a lot of judgment when we're able to just freely speak what that is that we are fighting against, that we are running away from, that we know we are never going to go back and be again. What is that for you? Because we've seen in entertainment, when we look at the stories, what it is for other people, what they're really struggling with, and because those things aren't answered in their life, how they go and show up and show out in their creative talents. So I just want to let you know that behind every face is a story. It's all about being accountable for how you walk this earth, being accountable for how you show up, just being honest about what's really happening. Let's go ahead and get the framework for, before you must decide, is tell your story, tell the truth, be accountable, relinquish control, and trust yourself. And so a lot of times, you see with celebrities, it's hard for them to trust themselves. When I've worked with them behind the scenes, they have a whole bunch of teams as well. And so they themselves don't have much agency in how they want to run their business. When you walk in and there's a manager there, there's an agent, there's PR, there's your driver, your assistant, your makeup artist, all of that. I mean, the stakes become very, very high and less about what it is and why it is you're doing what you're doing. It becomes about everyone else's things that they have going on. And so when I worked in entertainment, I would often say, well, do you know what it is your team want? Like, we are working for you. I get that. Like, we all love our craft, but we can't just sit there because, these people want something beyond this also. Do you know? Do you know what it is? Do you care? And I find that when we don't do that, it leaves us susceptible to getting treated and abused in the same way. A lot of times, if we do not get control of the stuff that has shaped us, then we end up getting clients that treat us the same way. And it's not like it's no one's fault, but we need to be in more self-awareness and be more honest about what it is that's our stuff, because we know that the entertainment industry does not care, right? We're trying to set up some standards for care, but they aren't there. And so we just got to be honest. So I love teaching about how to rewire learn conditioning patterns in our nervous systems, brains, bodies, no matter what kind of childhood you experience. But, I do it in more of a realistic, practical way. That's a lot of science talk. It's a lot of brains and body talk, but I really come from humans and people talk, listening to you, understanding that behind every face is a story. You're uniquely made. And I want to know about you and who you are. Because there's something you want to do. There's a reason why you want to do it. Because it's going to change your life. And if you don't do this thing, your life is not the same. Whatever that is, I want to help you reimagine that in a better way and get you the strategy and the resources to help you envision that more. So you're not sensitive. You're just traumatized. And that's okay as long as you're aware. There's so much more you can do in awareness than you can do without awareness, So in talking about me, behind every face is a story. Once I got real and told my story, I realized sort of like what I was doing that was holding me back, the excuses I was making. Yeah, I could cover rent, and yeah, I was doing a good client here and there, but it really wasn't anything that took me over in my career. It did not leave me in a place where I could just be like, hey, whatever, I'm just out here making the money. I know I'm getting called. Like, I'm out here booked and busy. Like, that wasn't happening. So there was no reason to, of course, be proud of myself for how I show up. But I could do more. I could try another way. Especially when I saw people where I wanted to go in my life doing things. I was like, well, I can just try another way. If I want to make more money, then what can I do differently to be like, hey, this is a real thing for myself? So I just find that we have to be really honest with how we're showing up in life, especially in the entertainment industry, because there are a lot of things happening, big factors that account for the kind of people that go into entertainment and the impact on their life. And again, it's not a long life. It's not a happy life. It's not a fulfilling life, even when we're getting all the accolades. I was just watching Wife Swap the other day, and it was old episode, so over a decade ago, but to hear like Jackie, Harry talk about winning an Emmy and she was in the house by herself. Like that reminded me of when I got the front cover of British Vogue last year and I was at the house by myself crying. And these are shared stories amongst creatives in entertainment of how they are getting the success, but it's loneliness on the other side. And the only thing that they have to be their friend is sex, drugs, and alcohol, right? Or feeding their mental illness. It is what it is, and it's happening a lot more than we know, right? A lot of people just aren't overdosing so that we could see it on the news, but that does not mean that the level of them inducing themselves with drugs is not at an all-time high. So, gotta be honest with yourself. And so when I did that, I knew also that my health had been a factor, and so that I needed to address my health. And at that point, it was just like, start getting checkups, just start getting a checkup. But then I also noticed how my pain, fibroid pain, menstrual pain, which is really, really hard on me, and it really changed my life. And then, getting therapy, that she really, really honed it in that, like, no, it's like an interrupter. It's not just something, it's an interrupter. So when we're talking about, again, other things, not that I will include my health as a mental illness, but my health concerns as well. It's just a factor to, why people do what they do or soar in high achievement as much as they do. So I was like, I got to get my doctor's appointments because I don't want to be on a stage and fall out or anything like that. And so that led me on a journey of seeing about my health. And so I wrap all of this in a bow because I started this off talking about my surgery that I got a few days ago, but in just, again, being more clear and addressing my stuff and my trauma, I'm able to get in front of it now a little bit more. And I just feel like better, like more at peace, more able to like focus on like what it is I'm working on. So I know that this is what creatives in entertainment need, because everybody's walking around overworked, overwhelmed, overdosed, overdoing it. And so I just wanted to be real with why I had my surgery and what that means for my life going forward. And I'm not, I don't want to say I'm happy because I'm not happy about bad news, but to learn about the facts about the people who exist in entertainment, especially against what's happening to me personally, was like, whoa. Yeah, it brought more power in what I was saying, and then also a real life perspective. So when I'm helping people, I'm not just reading off the facts. I'm not just giving off my experience. Like, it's a culmination of both, as well as looking at the high profile and seeing how they work as well. Like, as much as we're different, we're all the same if we call ourselves creative, especially the crazier ones who decide to work in entertainment. So that was a lot. I didn't want to be on here long because I am recovering and I should be resting, but I did not want to miss out on a good hair moment and the opportunity to get a little bit more honest about who I am, what I do, how I'm going to show up for you guys in the next few days. You guys are going to see some behind the scenes of me coaching, primarily me, and talking about how I've transformed and hear a little bit about my story. You're also going to see and get inspired by the talent that I've worked with. You're going to hear some of the inside stories on how it really unlocks some levels of leadership development for myself, how I also was able to get out of my own way. You're going to see that as well. And then lastly, tips and tricks on how to eliminate all the things. And I don't really want to say eliminate, but to manage all the stuff we talked about. So, procrastination, time management, how to really get more creatively focused on what it is you are trying to create. Because I know that's a big thing for creatives. They don't have time, but they want to build this thing. Well, okay, when are you going to do it? So You'll get to hear some of my tips and tricks on that at any moment when you want to go in and go deeper. You can join and become one of my coaching students. It's an 8-week journey, but really a transformational, wild ride. But there are just so many other resources to continue to learn how to navigate. But I am just one of them. I'm here and I could show up, and so I wanted to do that. So this will be here for you guys to view. I'm going to have it everywhere. And again, there's so much, in the spirit of talking about COVID and vaccinations and research and just people, like there is so much really good research out here about people and human behavior. And rather than guess folks' life and all that other stuff, like we can be a little bit better than we were yesterday. We can try another way and get more knowledgeable on how we really walk this earth, like, and what that means for our life, our legacy, all that good stuff. Okay? Behind every face is a story. Just wanted to be honest with you guys. I didn't really go over what PPMD is, but it's really like a premenstrual dysfunction type thingy. But anyway, it causes the worst pain, and it's a woman's issue. And I feel like I'm having contractions all the time. So when we're talking about the levels of pain, like it is very, very huge. But we talked a little bit about CPTSD. We also talked about adverse childhood trauma. But again, I did not talk a whole lot about sexual abuse, drug and alcohol deaths, premature death, just because that is not my personal ministry, but I still know that is the ministry of people in the entertainment industry. So I'm always going to mention it. Okay, so yeah, the internet's been acting crazy. So I'm going to get off. This makeup is cute and take some pictures. Thank you guys for being here, for all that were here and those who will see the replay. I do this every week because it's not about showing up. It's not about the perception of what other people think. Being a fellow creative, knowing that that's one of my trauma responses, is looking for the existential glory. I'm very happy for who shows up today. And I already know that you guys are going to come over here and there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and more hundreds and more hundreds and thousands of people who are going to look at this video to learn a little bit more about me, about the industry, about themselves. Okay? Thank you. Good night.